we start with yeah. So how many of you have a form already? Do any of you have a form already? Okay. How many people do you have? Does anybody have more than 4 people?
Or less than 4?
Or less than 4 people?
How many? 5.
Okay, that's fine. So generally, it's not advisable to have more than 4. Maybe 5 is fine if you're in the first year. But both of us think that the ideal number of people to have is 4.
Generally, there are 4 issues, and from what I know, this time as well, there will be more or less 4 issues. That's what I just said. So it's better if one person works on one issue from both sides, and that way.
Yeah, you could. So generally, this is what I've seen in at least my 2 years of units, is that one of the 4 issues is generally like not more than 2-3 days old. So in our first year we had the anti-suit injunction thing, in our second year we had one thing about securities. And whichever person was doing that was done in the first 2-3 days. So if that trend continues, then yeah, I think 3 members is fine.
It's fine as it works, but ideally 4.
I think 4 is a very safe number to have. 3 is good. 5 is a little too much, I think. 5 is a little too much. You all will end up being one large firm. Like all the first years will end up being one large firm by the end of it. So you don't have to worry. Yeah. So when you're forming your firms, it's most important that like above anything else that you trust who you're forming with and that you know them well. Because there's a lot of this has to do on how your equation is with your firm mates. And I've had a better experience, and I took people, I formed the people based on how my equation was with them rather than, this one does well, that one does well. Okay? So make sure you know everybody well, make sure you trust everybody you're forming with. If you're unsure of it, just say no, it's not a big deal. Nobody takes firms that seriously also. What you have to do is meet every single day. Preferably work together in one place for the whole duration of the month. That is ideal. If that doesn't happen, if somebody prefers to sit in their room, if somebody just doesn't want to sit with people, make sure at some point in the day you do meet and have like an hour-long discussion on everything that you've read that day. Okay. It helps keep everybody in the loop, which means that at the end of the first, halfway through the second week, you won't just get a research document full of things that you have no idea what they mean. You will know what they mean because every day you've been sitting with somebody, maybe you have inputs in that, because when you're bouncing ideas off each other, it helps you also think, you may think about stuff that you haven't thought about before. So make sure you meet every single day, generally after dinner or before dinner, whatever. So when you start, don't divide issues without reading the problem properly. Ideally divide issues by the night of the first day. So if the problem releases 28th midnight, by 28th dinner, after dinner, you can divide issues. Try not to give more than one person one issue. Since you have 4 people, that will be, it will work out for one person one issue. But don't feel afraid so generally one issue is really fuck up. Really fuck up. And you will just not understand, nobody will understand what is going on in that. Like I said, there will be one issue which is not that fuck up, which is relatively straightforward. Don't hesitate to move that person onto the fuck all issue if that fuck all person is having a problem. The person with the fuck all issue is having a problem. And if you are the person who has the fuck all issue, please say you do. It is much better to have 2 people working on it than floundering around not really knowing what to do.
It's very, very important to communicate and let people know what you are going to do. If you can't find something, tell people no. Because, as in, don't think that just because you have the responsibility for one particular issue, it is your job, only and only your job, and you can't talk to other people and you won't take their help. Or if you try to take their help, they will think that you're not working or whatever. It's very, very important to communicate and tell what the issues that you are facing or there's some problem, because also you need to realize that all these 4 issues or whatever the number of issues are connected in some way. So it might be possible that the other person has found something which might help you in your issue. So that is why communication is very, very important both ways. If you find something good, if you find something bad, if you can't find anything.
Which is why if you're friends or if you like the people you're forming with, everything becomes a lot easier.
Also, just after you get the problem, it's very good. So number the paragraphs, number the lines, that is very, very obvious. But read the problem thoroughly many times and get multiple copies of the problem and mark and highlight the problem in the multiple copies differently, because every time
Don't
you
read one
the-
copy twice, ever. Don't read a marked copy again.
because every time you read the problem, you will come up with new ideas, new facts. You might discover new facts and you might think of new issues. And if you keep on reading your mark
The
copy
same
again
problem,
and again,
you can't think beyond your markings.
you will have that particular mindset. So that is very important. And like 2-3 times read the problem individually, different copies, and at least 2 or 3 times sit with your firm and read the problem. One person can just read out the problem and then
Go paragraph wise or whatever.
Paragraph
Because
wise.
it gets really hard after a while. But read every paragraph, discuss every paragraph, say what, like tell them that I think in this paragraph fact A is important, fact B is important. Say fact A links to fact, like whatever fact Z later on in the problem, which is why it is important. Make sure all of you are very comfortable with the problem. Okay?
And this is something that our seniors told us specifically for the unique problem. There is not a single word that is not relevant. For a lot of the other moves, it might be possible that a lot of irrelevant information thrown around. But for the unique problem,
Everything is very
every word counts, every comma counts, every full stop counts. So make sure that
you know the problem absolutely inside out.
this is also help you in your oral rounds.
Knowing where everything is. So, also, it's generally not related to forming, but the first thing you do after when you're reading the problem is make sure you know the meaning of every single word in the problem. And I don't mean go find a legal, like a case where cited a meaning, just like a Google, the first Google hit as to what it means. Because for a lot of you, because you haven't done even contracts for that matter, you haven't done contracts. You've done contract, you haven't done COP, you haven't done whatever it is, arbitration, or CPC. So there are a lot of words you won't understand. And those words you have to understand. Especially if they're corporate terms, you have to understand broadly what they mean, even if you're not going to be legally researching it. Okay? So make sure you know
Very,
that.
very important to understand each and every word and each and every.
Yeah, so what seems to be a problem from what I've been hearing with you guys is exchange of research. Two, people asked me also, and like, you're going to got and all that. So don't exchange memos. Period. Okay?
Basically, don't exchange the final thing that you're going to send. Your issue. Don't exchange your final version of
Yeah, just don't do it. I mean, just don't. Okay? What you should do is two things. First, like I said, if you talk about it, you won't be relying on somebody sending you a final version to write your arguments from. Second thing, the first time you meet, prepare, figure out a format for a research document. Okay, this is very, very important, and I did this in my second year, it helped a lot. Okay, so all of you, when you're making it,
I think Isha sent you in the workshop that she took, after that she sent you
a table, there's a document, table of authorities, statute, cases, and all that, right? So all of you need to make a document like that for your own issue. So it has to have what statutes you're using, it has to have what cases you're using. And when I say what cases you're using, I don't mean you write a name and you post the extract, right? You have to come up with something which, if I as somebody who hasn't researched on that issue, opens that document, I should be able to immediately understand what is going on. Which means that document should also have a structure. It should have your comments, your inputs on why you think this case is relevant. Right? So you start to say, oh, A versus B, what do you give? You give the whole citation. You say what court, what year, what bench strength. All this has to be there for every single case in every single research document. Okay? Because otherwise, you will be stuck one night before orals. Instead of practicing, you will be running around because your permits will be calling and saying, "Yaar, ye case kaun si hai? Ye case ka bench strength kya hai?" And if at that point something happens, it's much easier to have everything when you're researching it.
So basically, the mindset from the start should be that you just don't have to take a memo, but you also have to.
You have to come to the thing you told is you have to keep the research documents. While you're researching, you have to make a separate document for that.
Yes.
And each and everything of the case has.
Yes. So every time, so this is actually something that will help you a lot in your notes also. And it will help you even if you're not forming. Because if you have a research document, because a lot of times it happens that you read something, you don't know if it's relevant or not, you let it be. 2 days later you realize it's relevant except you don't realize that it was. Which is why you should have a research document, where every single thing you think may or may not be relevant goes into that Word document. I make a table of contents also, it's very easy to find it again.
also, you could also color code your research document in the sense that you could pre-assign colors for the importance that you think this particular fact or this particular case or this particular proposition of law might have. So while you're making your research document, you could keep that particular para or keep that particular proposition in a particular color code. So that way you will.
Yeah, it all depends on how diligent you guys are willing to do the document.
And
But
everybody has to be like.
Yeah, and everybody has to have the same level of diligence on the document. So if somebody is saying, यार मुझसे इतना नहीं होगा तो fine, like मुझसे उतना नहीं होगा, try to find something जो उससे होगा. ठीक है?
So what was I saying earlier was that in from the start that you have to appear for an oral document, not just bring the memo.
Yeah.
So if you don't work accordingly, just even after submission of the memo, you will find that there are things which are not clear. But these things can be avoided if you start working with that mindset from the starting itself. So, for example, you might think, yeah, ये case का facts are not too relevant, we'll figure out before the oral rounds. But if you have that set research document in mind, it will also help the person who is writing the memo, the other person who is not researched, and it will also help you as well as other people on the phone before the oral rounds.
Okay. And this is the research document that you will be sharing. Okay? You will not share. If you want to share a structure, share a very basic skeletal structure. Okay? It should not even be sentences. Because when it is
Bullet
sentences,
points.
it should be bullet points. Literally bullet points. Say A, no injunction, because 1, this case 2, this case 3, this case, that's it.
Because as soon as you share a written document, it's a very difficult thing to even change the sentence structure.
Yeah.
Even if the other person has time on his hand, mostly there's no time.
And what
That
will you
is a
do? One
problem.
person will change from active to passive. The other person will put one word here and there. उसके बाद क्या ही करोगे? It's a sentence. Sentence is making the same point. How many ways? How many different ways will you think of writing it? Especially when you are all in that very pressurized mindset.
Also, when you have that sentence in front of you, it's very
It's very
difficult.
difficult to change it around. Right? So don't exchange sentences as far as possible. Exchange research documents. And it's not that difficult. Okay? A major reason why people exchange memos is because on the day of submission at 9 o'clock you still don't know what you're writing. Which is why at that point then it doesn't make sense to read a research document because by the time you figure out what is going on in the research document, time will be up.
Also, in the starting itself, have deadlines and stick
Yeah,
to them.
it's
Very,
easy.
very important.
Yeah, just stick to deadlines. And they're not difficult to stick to. This is, yeah, another thing to stick to deadlines. How many of you have, like, you all have exemptions, right? Yeah, so please finish
Your
the
project before the.
in the next 3 days. Okay. What submissions, please?
History or
Yeah, history 17. So that's fine. So yeah, I mean, if you have
It's a
history,
substantial part
see,
of history.
if you have history,
and then
yeah. But before this, my point is like,
and then research some part of
your
research
project
whatever.
should not come in the way of your work. Okay? And this, it will because you will get an extension. They are getting an extension. No?
History ka
So, you remember that extensions hurt you because they are eating into unit time. Submissions on the 2nd, as in currently submissions on the 2nd or the 3rd. If you let submission go till the 6th or the 7th, 8th you have to submit, like whatever, 9th, 8th, 9th you have to submit a memo.
Or if you get a EMC extension, then
Yeah, then 9th you have to submit a memo. So just don't. Okay, because remember
complete
every.
it on 28,
Yeah.
you have to submit it at 5 p.m. on 28.
Yeah, just let us move it there. There's no doing it. Right? And if it happens that it's like going into unit 9, give 1 hour or 1.5 hours a day to it, just it, where you don't think about units at all. You sit, you write a project for 1.5 hours, and you come back to units. Yeah, I no, as in it's doable. It's just not ideal.
Also, so one way to stick to deadlines is that you talk to your whoever is a new vendor. Your objective should be that by this particular date on this at this time you will be able to send your first draft or whatever to your new vendor. And make sure your new vendor pressurizes you and keeps you on your toes because your objective should be to be able to send a draft and not just submit the memo at 12 o'clock.
Ideally, if you will start on a Sunday and submission will be on a Thursday night, you should start typing Wednesday afternoon. Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. Ideally Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. A lot of you won't start till Wednesday night, which will leave it very close for the next day. But your aim should be Tuesday night. I should be able to start writing. Because remember you have to write.
Also, frills. Complete your frills even
Before.
before the mood starts. You know, as in I will tell you what the fills are. Computer fills even before 28. You can make the whole
problem.
Right?
But
Format the
Yeah, just you have old memos. Keep the format ready. When you're free, you've made a class. You have some idea what the fills are going to be, right? Okay, you just do it with the memo.
So apart from statement of facts and things which are dependent on the problem, other fills can be done even before the movie starts. This will save you a lot of time because if you try to make the fills on the date of the submission,
it's just a waste of time.
There are two problems. First of all, the fills will not be proper and fills count a lot because you get marks for them. And secondly, psychologically on the memo checker, it plays a lot of.
It makes a difference if I see a badly like. If your frills are good, you know that this person clearly has managed his time well, his or her time well. Otherwise, if frills are really
even the frills are bad and this perfect argument, there's something playing on my mind that some problem with this memo and it might affect your overall score. So that's why frills are very important. Anything else with respect to what we have told you? Research document, if you didn't understand properly,
with regards to forms, general unit timeline.
So if you have like a firm, 4 to 5 people, you're sharing each and every program, then would you end up with almost same, we're competing.
So that is true for the entire pool, right? So you can't really find something that is out of the blue. Like very few people will have different stuff. When 50 people are researching on a particular problem, it's inevitable that substantial part will be similar. So that's fine. What they're looking for in plagiarism is whether
your structure.
The
only way when a structure is the same. Like it starts where a structure is the same.
I just explained you this very briefly before they move on to the memorial. Now the point which is of the plagiarism